Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event. It's a potential title decider, first versus second. It's the master facing his protege, a possible treble in the works versus a chance for Premier League glory for the first time in almost 20 years. It's Manchester City and Arsenal. And heading into this one, Arsenal, the away side, they're on 75 points through 32 games. City are on 70 through 30 games, and Manchester City is a goal differential that's 7 superior than Arsenal. City, they're absolutely rolling. They're on flames right now. Coming off the 3-0 victory on the weekend in the FA Cup semifinal over Sheffield United. They advanced to the Champions League before that. They're on to the semifinal. Will they face Real Madrid after getting past Bayern Munich with relative ease, I should add. 11 wins in a row for Manchester City. They haven't lost in 15 games. Their last loss was February 5th at Tottenham Hotspur. Incredible. They played to over the 2.5 total in 7 of 8. They've been the first to score in 5 of 5. They've beaten other top competition with conviction at home over the course of this Premier League season. 6-3 over United, 2-0 over Newcastle, 4-2 over Spurs after being down 2-0 in that game, by the way. 4-1 over Liverpool. At home, overall, no one's been better than City. 13-1-1, 55-0 goals scored, and just 15 conceded. Although their XG, according to Infogol, sits at around 36.5, which just shows you how ruthless this team is, especially playing at the Etihad. Overall, a 40.3 expected goal differential. That's vastly superior than anyone else in the Prem. Arsenal second best at 29.9, so there's a significant gap there. And they're fit, they're healthy. Foden's back in the team. It's only Nathan Ake. He's really the only injured player in a team with an embarrassment of riches. The upcoming schedule for Man City, also very kind, with Leeds United and Everton as the opponents around the Real Madrid Champions League fixtures. But they do finish this season against Chelsea, but they're right at Brentford to finish. Two tricky teams, especially playing away from home, just painting a little bit of a picture what the title race looks like right now. As for Arsenal, that little wobble, it continues with a thrilling 3-3 home draw against last place Southampton. They were down 2 goals twice before scoring the 88th and the 90th, courtesy of Odegaard and Saka. 3 straight draws, 3-3, then 2-2 against both West Ham and Liverpool after holding a 2-goal lead in both of those previous games. No losses in 5. However, no clean sheet in 6. They played to over the 2.5 goal total in 5 of 5. Both teams to score has played in 6 of 6, but they've been the first to score in 7 of 8. That stability defensively that they showed all season long, poof, it's gone. William Saliba's back injury has really complicated things. Looks to keep him out for the run into the season and potentially long-term as well. He's going to be out for this key fixture and has proven to be irreplaceable in the team. Saliba has missed the last 5 games, and guess what? They've conceded in each and every one of them. Arsenal still the best away team in the Premier League, 11-3-2, 32 goals scored, 13 against. After this game, next up, at home to Chelsea, away at Newcastle, then they play Brighton. Not a very easy stretch of games for Arsenal. So this difficult run continues. That's what made that setback against Southampton, so devastating for Arsenal in their title challenge. Head-to-head, City won the reverse fixture 3-1. It was a 1.87 XG to 2.42 in that game. Partey didn't play. Jesus didn't play in that game either. City have won 7 straight against Arsenal in all competitions. Their last win over Manchester City in the Premier League came all the way back in 2015. So that's the way things stand heading into this one. It's going to be the must-watch fixture of the Premier League season. So, Andrew, let's hear your play. How do you feel about this one heading into it?
I would love to be able to make a positive case for Arsenal, but I think it's just incredibly difficult with the form of the two teams. I mean, you mentioned that City have won the last 7 meetings. I looked up the last 13 meetings in the league, and City won the XG in every single one of them. In the games at the Etihad, it was by an average of 2.0 XG and always by at least 0.8 XG. And obviously Arsenal are better than they've been in a lot of recent seasons, but that's a serious advantage time and again over the same opponent. They are the top two teams for total goals per game, both averaging 3.5 this season. So I think goals is definitely the way to go, and then sort of pick your play from there. I mean, you could look at it and say Arsenal have the most away clean sheets in the division with 9, but it's only 1 from 5 aways against the top 8 when they won 2-0 at Spurs. The other 4 games that fall into that category, they conceded 2 or more every time. Obviously, I think depending on which model you look at, Liverpool had something like 4, maybe even 5 XG when they hosted Arsenal recently. So if you go on that basis, and it seems fairly certain that Manchester City are going to score, are Arsenal going to be able to score enough in return? I can see them scoring, but I just think Manchester City will probably have too much for them. Not much value in a Manchester City win, just a straight bet. Manchester City and over 2.5 goals is plus 123. Arsenal's last 8 games have all paid out on over 2.5 goals, and with the assumption that Manchester City will win as they're in the better form, then I think that's possibly the way to go.
I'm kind of looking at things the same way as you. I think if you are going to make a play when it comes to the total, both teams to score and over 2.5 at plus 105. That would be the play that I would make. I would like to see something like that have a little bit more juice, to be honest with you, Andrew, than just plus 105 for 2 things to play out. But City, despite playing some weaker opponents, just seemingly regularly concede. Like they haven't been assured at the back. With all due respect to Rob Holding, just whatever it is, the chemistry at the back, whatever the makeup is for Arsenal, they're just not the same with Saliba and the team. It's very difficult to see Arsenal coming away with a clean sheet in that one. So I think that that's probably the recommended play. But for whatever reason, I think a draw would suit Man City in this game. I know that the setback against Southampton is kind of. Do you think this is a must-win game for Arsenal, Andrew? Do you think they have to win to have any chance of going on to win the Premier? Are you looking at at Mikel Arteta's approach, like making this one a must-win?
Yeah, I think so, because as you say, they've got a run of difficult fixtures. They're also only 5 points ahead when City have 2 games in hand. So I think anything less than a win, it's pretty much impossible. I think even with a win, it wouldn't be a guarantee with the way they're playing and City's form. But it has to be Arsenal win if they're going to have any chance of the title, I think. But I just can't see them getting it on current form.
See, and if you think that Arsenal might win this game, and this is where I'm kind of going with that. If you like Arsenal in this game, and they can create that gap, if they win, they become, odds-on favorites to win the Premier League. The futures play at Pinnacle right now: Arsenal win the title at plus 310, Man City at plus 400. I just can't get around. I'm not sure what would have to happen to see Arsenal win this game. Originally, I was thinking Arsenal at plus a goal on the handicap at minus 103. I was thinking there's some value there, because even if City win by a goal, it's a push, and Arsenal need to kick on. I think coming into this game, it's a must not lose for Arsenal for obvious reasons. A draw still keeps their hope alive. Funny things can happen down the stretch. City still do have Champions League football. I know they have an FA Cup final that's at the end of the season. That's after all these games are played. But curveballs are often thrown, and things don't always work out in the straightforward fashion that we believe them to. I don't think that a draw is a disastrous result for Arsenal in this one. Obviously, a win is preferable for so many reasons, but a draw, I think you're okay with that one. I'm not going to lock it in. I will lock in the both teams to score over 2.5, but I'm tempted at Arsenal plus a goal in the handicap at minus 103. Would you even go close to that, or do you think that City are just that much better for side and the data backs it up?
Yeah, I think they are. I can see your point of view on that, certainly, and perhaps a draw isn't the end of the world. Obviously, Manchester City have an element of fixture congestion to deal with, which Arsenal don't. Obviously, a huge tie coming up against Real Madrid and things like that. So perhaps a draw wouldn't be the end of the world for Arsenal, but they just don't look like, even if they got that draw, can you then see them winning every remaining game? I'm not sure I can. So they probably have to go for a win, and then that obviously probably makes it easier for Manchester City. So as you say, Saliba being out, I mean that's huge for Arsenal, and that could make all the difference. So I see the logic, but yeah, I think I'm all in on Manchester City, unfortunately, which pains me to say it because it is getting quite boring with them winning the league near enough every year. But that's where we're at. So yeah, that is probably what's going to happen, I think.
The other option, if you don't like the both teams to score at 2.5, you can try the overs. I mean, the total set at 3, and that's where the push comes in. So you get a little bit more juice if 3 goals are scored and both teams score goals. You take that push. You need 4 goals for an outright victory. Perhaps that could be in the cards. I wouldn't be against making that play with the total. Again, City, their defense, they haven't been that solid defensively. And Arsenal, I mean, we've documented their problems over recent weeks. Anything else to add on this fixture? Like, there's just a part of me that thinks that Arsenal can get something here. The form of the attacking 4 players for Arsenal, I think it could cause all kinds of problems for that Manchester City back line, like Martinelli, Saka, Odegaard, Jesus. They're all in great form, Andrew. You get Partey back in the midfield. It's just that maybe we're reacting too much to how kind of the games have played out in the last couple of weeks, forced to hold on against West Ham and hold on against Liverpool. And then, having to claw back against Southampton. But I think this Arsenal, I don't think that there's a goal difference between these two sides. If you look on the balance of the season, it's just what's happened over the last couple of weeks and whether that Saliba loss is just insurmountable. So I'm really tempted to make that Arsenal play at +1. I really am. If we're going to look at what this line would have been, before the Southampton game, if City had won, I think it would have looked a lot different. I think the line has moved based upon that consensus and City going through basically a walk in the park against Sheffield United on the weekend. So anything else to add on this one?
No, I think just expect goals. As I say, I think City will have too much for them, but certainly back goals because there should be quite a few. I think, as you say, Arsenal have got the tools to hurt City. They don't keep many clean sheets at home this season, so I wouldn't be surprised if Arsenal scored. But I think City will probably score more.
All right, should be a good one. Enjoy it, everyone. The fixture of the season and a potential title decider from the Etihad this weekend.